getting 200, 160, 300 out of 4K, 5K is part of maybe 9. They will interview 160 people. Oh, this program is in this so city, and they're like, we're a rural program. If you've not gotten any interview now. Hi guys, so last video I got a lot of questions about like interview prep, and I get it, it's October, it's interview season. Disclaimer, I'm not a pro, but I think I'm able to share a few things about like basic interview prep. First things first, if you've not gotten any interview now, I would say don't give up hope. Interview season typically would last for months, October, November, December, January, people are still interviewing. And I hope, honestly, I hope everybody gets into where they should be and all of that. But yeah, if you've not gotten interviews till now, you're not alone. I've seen many people get interviews in November, in December, and still match, okay? So first thing is, if you're invited to interview, they like you. See, there are so many, I don't like the word energy, vibe and stuff, but there is a lot you would give off by entering that space, acting like you don't deserve to be there, or you're not better than, like you're not good enough to be there and stuff. And those things show. Yeah, everybody is baseline anxious, everybody is baseline nervous, but don't like going looking dejected and stuff. You have attempts, you don't have great scores, blah, blah, blah. They saw it, they called you. To give you context, programs typically would get maybe 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 3,000 applications. And for example, my program is part of maybe 9. They will interview 160 people. So getting 200, 160, 300 out of 4K, 5K. And you're one of those 300. So don't go in there thinking, they don't like me, blah, blah, blah. Now, even if you're recommended, they didn't put a gun to the PD's head. They had a choice to invite you, okay? So first, that's the first thing I kind of want you to know. Second thing would be this: practice, practice, practice. And yes, I would say practice like the answers to the most common IV questions. And I'd like to make a point that the practice is not necessarily because you might be asked the same questions, because especially like, oh, tell me about yourself, why this specialty, why this program. I think we can do a video next week about like the most common interview questions and some tips on how to like answer them. But in practicing, you're also practicing so that you learn how not to be rehearsed. You're practicing so that you get comfortable speaking. It's just like this YouTube channel or like talking in front of a camera. Sometimes it's cringy. Sometimes I don't even want to listen to myself because stuff like that. So these things take getting used to. Just the same as like public speaking. So this is like one of the most important things about practice that I don't hear often. Practice so that you hear how you sound. Do you make so many pauses? Are you using a lot of filler words? Are you not like, you're not looking at the camera like where you should? Are you looking down? Do you look nervous? So practicing would help you like see those gaps. If you can record yourself, you have the courage to record yourself, go ahead and record yourself. Try to be vulnerable with your friends. Get a best friend, get someone who can be honest with you. Let them practice with you, talk to you, practice with other applicants as well. Another thing that practicing will do for you is, if you're practicing with like a really good person, like sometimes they will throw these questions that you are not ready for. It's not your typical tell me about yourself. It might be like, hey, tell me about when, or something like, oh my God, I didn't see this coming. So practicing will kind of help you know, when should I should be comfortable enough to say, hey, this is like an interesting question. I haven't thought about this before. Let me think about this. Things like that. So just like having conversations, practicing will kind of help you like outgrow or overcome that awkward stage. The other thing is also, so you see like, how is your face? Do you have a baseline like, I'm angry at everybody's face? Am I able to smile? So yeah, practice. Don't be rehearsed. Don't start, tell me about yourself. My name is this. You can like put points down, or maybe you're anticipating it. Tell me about your strengths, tell me about your weaknesses. You can just put points so that you just glance at your points quickly and then make conversation around those points, okay? Something else that you can jot down would be stories. Tell me about a time when, trust me, in the heat of the moment, those times where you have a fight with someone and then you go back home and like, wait, I should have said this, or you're explaining yourself and you're like, why didn't I remember this? That's what happens like when we are put on the spot. So one thing that you can do is write those things down. For a story about like, tell me about a time when like you were like in a conflict situation, or you're attending this something you didn't like, blah blah blah. You can write those stories and just jot like 1 line, 2 lines, and the lessons also, like always remember lessons at the end, so that when they ask you those questions, you just look at your points and you build up on those points. Fourth thing is be yourself. I think this is one of the ones that everybody's like, be yourself. I'm like, what do you guys mean? What does be myself mean? Be yourself means you're not going there lying about who you are not. Be yourself means being comfortable being there, right? So to try to put it simply, I already said it at the beginning, it's looking at it like, oh, I deserve, well, I don't use the word I deserve so that you don't come out looking pompous, but I hope you guys get what I mean. But be yourself means, hey, these people like me, they are checking me out. Obviously, I want to match real bad, but I'm also checking them out. It's having that conversation, oh, okay, these are the things I like, these are the things I don't like. It's just like dating. I think the match is in so many ways like dating. If I were to go on a date with someone, maybe like someone introduced me to somebody, or there's this person I really like for you to meet, which is like how recommendations, for example, happen. I'm not going to like, if heels are not my thing, I won't go there on heels, because then I'll be like really awkward. If, like, let's say I don't wear wigs, I wouldn't borrow wigs. Oh, well, this is tricky. But my point is, yes, I'm going to try to present my best self, which is like the difference, so that the person will not like me based on who I'm not. And then, like when you get your person, you just click. So if you try to be someone you're not, you don't know what it was even about you as a person that person liked. So you still want to be that person that you were in your CV. So in being yourself, yes, you will be your best self. Be yourself does not mean feel at home. So you just like go there, just lie down like this and stuff like that. So you're actually going to be your best self. So I was going on a date with someone I've never met. I'm going to dress well. I'm not going to go there and start picking my nose and things like that. But I'm also not going to go there and then pretend to maybe like basketball because the person likes basketball. Pretend to like this, pretend to like that. No, I might just pick up on the things that are mutual to us and then expand on those things. But I won't lie about like who I'm not. So I think that's like what be yourself means. But in being yourself, please go as your best self. So in interview prep, best self means what are your strengths? What are the amazing things about you? And I know that this is like something that we also like struggle with. Not everybody went to like very popular schools. You might not have run a marathon. You might not have like one bomber's like hobby that when you mention it, they'll be like, oh my God, you do this. You might not, but a lot of introspection. Talk to your friends. Ask them, what is it about me that you really like? If you're applying internal medicine, go online. Say, what are the like qualities of a good internal medicine resident? What are qualities of a good internist? Check yourself. Like, what are the things about you that align? So that's like what being yourself means. It's like I have an NGO, I have a project, and then I'm supposed to like apply for maybe a grant or a scholarship. You know that people don't know what my NGO does. I could feed 1,000 kids in Africa, but if I'm not able to sell that story well, nobody gets impressed by it. So being your best self is trying to highlight the best things about you, okay? But about you, not about anybody else, not about who you think they want about you. Number 5 is know your CV well. Guys, read your CV. Read your CV. You see all those research papers that you put that you did 5 years ago. Somebody might just ask you about it. What were you guys studying? What was the primary endpoint? How did this happen? How did that happen? So you want to read your CV very well. It shouldn't be that someone asks you about something that you put in your CV and then you're surprised. Or you're just like taken aback. Please, any paper that you have your name on it, please try to read it well. Another thing is, if you have any perceived red flags, I mean perceived, like what people would typically like, or what you are even insecure about that you think maybe like the most common everybody just says is attempt. They invited you. I don't think your attempt is going to make them not rank you well because they saw it and they invited you, right? But still be prepared to answer questions about it. Don't be defensive. Again, they invited you in spite of the red flags. So get a story of why that might have happened, what you've learned from it, qualities that you want them to see. It could be resilience, it could be someone who's like very innovative, someone who is this, someone who is that. So have those stories ready. Be ready to change narrative to something that highlights you as a dogged person. Honestly, because even in residency, nobody really cares about your scores. Honestly, like they just want to work with a nice person. If someone is like a very terrible like person to work with, I don't care about their score. It's like, Jesus, I don't feel comfortable around this person. So these people, in as much as yes, they want people who are going to pass the boards, they want people who are this, they want people who are that. At the core of it, they still want people who they're not going to have problems with for 3 years. So don't worry about those objective data. They don't define you. Show them the kind of amazing person that you are. So if they're asking you, they're not asking you to ask you why you failed or why this, nah. They want to see how you talk about it, how you address it, how you've grown from it and all of that. 7, read about your programs. So usually when you're applying broadly and stuff, you don't really have the time to read in depth about programs. So I hope that by this time you take one program, you read, go through their websites, go, their history, what did they brag about, what did they say, our residents this, our residents go here, our this, da. Read it. Read. That's just my point. Read. Look at where the residents are from. You might be surprised to see someone from your medical school. It could be like a conversation starter or something to like carry the conversation. Who is interviewing you? If you have that information, some programs will send it way ahead. Interview with this person at this time. Read about them. Are they publishing? What are their interests? I think I got two of my interviews asked me medical questions, and one of them asked me questions about diabetes and COPD, I think, or maybe just COPD, I don't remember. But those things were on the website as high interest. So when somebody has specific interest, if they're ever going to ask you academic questions or anything like that, or even non-academic questions, it will be usually like be in their interest, like things related to their specialty and stuff. So jot things about them. Try to find as much things about them. See if you guys have like any things in common and stuff. Don't take like, when they ask you why this program, is actually what you've known from looking at the program website, looking at their Instagram, their Twitter and stuff. So you don't say, oh, this program is in this so city, and they're like, we're a rural program, or the ICU exposure, this exposure, and they're like, we are not. Do you get what I mean? So make sure that you know this program so well. So when you talk about them as why this program, they know it is them. Number 8, be on time. Respect the program coordinators. They really hold the program together. Honestly, it's not the PD, it's them. Respect them. When they're doing a happy hour, meet and greet during the interview, attend. Honestly, attend. Listen to the residents. Ask questions if you have questions. Interact with them. Obviously, programs are going to use these residency happy hours differently. Some people will actually use it to say, oh, what do you think about this person? Some people don't really care. They're just there to like, oh, because there are questions that you don't want as the PD. Right, like maybe where do you guys live? How many patients do you see a day? Then there are some questions that you might want to reserve for the residents. So some programs will just put their residents there so that you have those people that you can ask. So it doesn't feel like they're hiding something, right? So know the right questions to ask faculty and the right questions to ask residents. So attend these things. Smile. I don't know. Just attend and listen. Listen. Sometimes listening to them are also going to give you potential questions so that when they ask in the interview, do you have any questions for us? You have things to ask. When they are doing the program overview, listen. So you don't ask somebody something that they said. So even if you're going to ask them something that they said, it's going to be like, oh, you mentioned this. Or you want them to like expound on it. You have a question about this thing that they said, right? So listen to all those things. Be on time, of course. Things happen. Internet can malfunction, time zone and everything. But just try to control the things that you can control. And honestly, sometimes it's not because if you are late, somebody might be like, this person is tired. Yeah, that can happen. But it's also for your own like peace of mind. Because you know when you're late to an appointment, you're late to like catch a flight, you know how you feel, even though you still make it, right? But it kind of disorients you, so you don't want those things happening. Dress well. Yes, it's virtual. Most of them are going to be virtual, but still dress well. Again, confidence. When you dress well, you feel okay and stuff. And then the people that are seeing you, again, they don't see how polite you are. They don't see how you walk. It's like that from here, whatever you show them, that's the impression they're going to make. So dress well. People typically will go to for business, casual, the suits. Colors doesn't matter. it's personality. Some people go colorful, some people will stay conservative, blue, black, brown, and stuff. Anyways, I can't define what is well for you, but try to look professional, smart, neat. And for background, I don't think a busy background is wise. People typically say things like curate your background. I don't know, depends on you. If all you have is a white wall, use a white wall. You will still match. Like, I don't think it's the lack of created background. But again, because conversations, when you're interviewing, it's now about like, oh, how did they think? What did they think about you during the interview, right? At this point, not so much of your credentials. So when you create your background, the point is, you kind of show things about you that you want, or you might want to come up in the conversation. Maybe you want a trophy, you run a marathon, you can put it there, a picture. I have a friend who draws, so he hung some of his artwork, and then those things came up in questions or in the conversation. So that's what curating your background is. It's like putting some things that point towards your personality or tell more about your personality. But please don't clutter your space. Honestly, it's not worth it. I didn't have that, right? I wasn't in a place where I could do that, because I did 3 interviews here, 3 interviews in that house, 3 interviews here. So I couldn't be moving background and stuff. But then if you can, I mean, why not? It's just like when people watch sometimes on YouTube and they're like, oh my God, the video quality, the sound quality. I'm like, Me personally, I don't know the difference, but having those good quality things make people feel differently about my videos, right? So it's kind of that. And then your gear, test it before. Again, if your internet malfunctions, I found out that most of these people are like really nice and gracious about it. I think when I had the program I matched out, when I had the interview, I was sweating like crazy. There was no lights. Oh my goodness. So no lights with that suit or jackets, blazer and powder. I was sweating. They thought it was anxiety. They're like, we want to give you a few minutes. So I've heard people say that, their internet disconnected, and then they just came back on. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Everybody gets it. It's Zoom. Things can happen, right? But it's just for your own peace of mind, so that you don't walk in looking like anxious to that meeting and stuff. So try to test your gear, test your mic, call your friends before, ask them, how do I look? What do you see? Is my mic okay? Can I mute? Can I unmute? And stuff like that. You don't have to get expensive stuff. I used my tab. Maybe like people still go ahead, get laptops, get webcam, whatever you can afford, whatever gives you the best. It's like a thing of, with this match, it's not one thing that makes you match. It's just you putting your best foot forward and hoping that things like align and work well. But if you don't have the finances to go all out, that's still okay. I don't think that one thing will not make you match. So people are usually graceful. If something happens, you have to like cancel your interview. You have to reschedule, let them know on time. These people are like super nice, super graceful, right? And if they're not, then maybe you don't want to work in that kind of place, right? So those are 10 points. And obviously there's still like so much to cover when it comes to interviews. Again, I'm not a pro, but I will try to do some research and see how I can come up with a way to talk about like the most common, at least 10 common interview questions and angles or perspectives on how to answer them. But you guys just honestly relax, but not relax. Relax in the sense that it will go well, but don't relax in the sense that you've already done so much to get to this point. This is like literally like I think the last thing. So still give it like your all. Like, and again, guys, I forgot this one. Treat every interview like as if it was the only one. You never know. The interview you feel will go well, or I'll match here, they might not have felt the same about you. The place where you felt like, this is like, it's a backup, I have better programs. Honestly, so many things that you can't control about the ranking process and stuff. So still treat every interview like this is like the only one that you have. And I wish you guys all the best. I hope you guys are staying sane with how crazy like the match and everything is, and hope you are like being grounded in your communities and having your friends who are going through the journey with you and pulling you through and stuff. So I will see you guys in my next video. All right, bye.